also need, you know, to take it home and have it refrigerated. And some people don't have access to, you know, simple things that go into the process
But
of doing
Vince,
it.
there is an organization, and because of product name and so forth, I won't name it. But all you have to do is to go onto the internet or make a phone call and tell them what you want, and they will deliver it to you.
And that's phenomenal. But there are folks that we need to help actually get on the internet and educate them about where to go for those resources.
Exactly.
Now, I'm not saying that that the things don't exist. They do, and we need more of them. But we also need to marry that with the information so that folks understand the give and take between the two. Here's the resources, here's the need, and we need to marry the two and help people get that information so that they know what to do, and when they get that food, how to cook it, and you know, how to do things properly.
Now, you've got 2 healthy babies.
I do.
And how do you feed them?
My wife and I make it a point to sort of go, in many instances, the organic route, and in many instances, you know, cooking fresh, prepared food for them so that they sort of have the best that they can. It was a learning process, though,
Yes.
and it requires a lot of energy and effort. I mean, we have to go to specific places to get certain things. Not everybody has the option to do that, and I wish everyone did. And I think that we should have more resources allocated to sort of the education around how we can do that for us.
Now, back to the economy matters. Tell me, as a banker, what is your ordinary day like?
I spend a lot of time on the road. I cover a very wide territory, so my average day is stopping in the office or looking at my BlackBerry and figuring out what the next stop is supposed to be. But you know what I do in general is I meet a lot with folks who are building things, building affordable housing projects around the state. I'm very our bank is very interested in investing in those types of deals. We have a strategy to, you know, make sure that we meet our requirements through CRA, through investing in affordable housing projects.
Now, when you say affordable housing, what are the financial parameters for affordable?
Best case scenario is someone who's building a rental property where 50% of the units would be allocated for people who fall into an average median income of less than 50% of the average of wherever the location is. The average median income is different in different places. So in New York City, it's very much different than it would be, say, in a community in New Jersey or somewhere else in the state of New York. So it's all based on the average median income, which puts people into a situation here in New York because the average median income here in New York City, especially in Manhattan, is relatively high. And then there are pockets of areas where you have a very distinct difference between the high end of what people earned and the low end of what people earn. And you know, many parts of the congressional district that I hope to represent, you know, fall into that quandary where you look at the area and the average median income is going up, but there's still a huge population of people who fall under the 50% of that AMI who have some significant challenges that aren't being addressed when it comes to affordable housing and when it comes to just social services that are needed in the community.
What is the AMI now in New York?
The AMI in New York is, I think, just above $100,000 a year.
So you're
I
saying...
think, don't hold me to that number,
right.
but I think on average it probably is.
And that's in the 15th Congressional District?
That would be in New York City as a whole. But the AMI in Upper Manhattan is probably creeping towards $80,000 or $90,000 a year. And I know a lot of people who do not make that.
Still have a lot of people who not only do not make that, but they're not even employed.
Yeah.
How do they count into this census?
I don't know, and you know, next year is a census year, so it's going to be very interesting to look at the statistics because in the 15th Congressional District, you know, I think that we're going to see some really big changes in certain areas because there's been a lot of development in the past 10 years since the last census was taken. There's update numbers that came out 4 years ago, but nothing beats the full-on, you know, census count. Is
Columbia University going full speed ahead with their project?
They are, but there was, you know, in the news recently that there was some holdup because a judge, you know, held up that project because of some issues that will delay that.
What were the issues?
The issues was there was a lawsuit that was ruled upon that actually held them from sort of assuming the right
Oh.
of some of the properties on the Upper
Oh.
West Side.
Eminent domain?
It was around the eminent domain issue, and I'm not sure, this news came out on Thursday, and I'm not sure if there was any subsequent information that came out yet on the whole thing, but I'm certainly, interested in looking, at the progress that makes.
That's very interesting because they certainly reviewed that and they ruled on it, and everyone knew that Columbia was going to be able to use that eminent domain law to their benefit.
Well, obviously a judge
So-
didn't feel the same way, so we'll see how that
Okay.
all plays out. I'm sure Columbia has something, some kind of recourse to appeal that decision.
There's a lot of money tied up in that project.
There
A lot
is.
of
I mean,
money.
it's billions of dollars over the next 30 years that'll be tied up into that. I'm most concerned about, hopefully the jobs that are going to be created out of the development and subsequent use of that space. And, ultimately, I think that they will work something out where all sides will be happy, and, the community hopefully will benefit with having an anchor that will provide some jobs and some economic activity in that part of the district.
Well, Vince, I certainly wish you much success on your run.
Thank you.
And if there's one thing that you would like to leave my audience with, please do so now.
I'd really like to say to the audience, it's up to us to get involved. We talk a lot about how we sort of been waiting for this change, and the change is up to us to make. So let's get involved and let's stay proactive.
And if anyone wants to help you in your campaign, what would they do?
They can email me at Vincent, VINCENT, Morgan, MORGAN, at Morgan, 4Congress.com.
Great. Thank you so much,
Thank
Vince.
you.
It's been a pleasure having
you.
you. And thank you, MNN, for having me and As of Right. And I wish you all a good night.